Sacrificing Children to Idols. By Steve Hulshizer. The following article was written around 1985. For when they had slain their children to their idols, then they came the same day into the sanctuary to profane it. Ezekiel 23 verse 39. In this portion of Ezekiel, God is pronouncing judgment upon Israel and Judah for their idolatry. They were so far removed from God they even sacrificed their children to idols. Most likely this is reference to the fire god Molech. It is reported that the image was heated to a glowing red, and then the children were placed in its arms to be burned as a sacrifice. When man turns away from God, there is no limit to the depth of depravity to which he can go. Romans 1 verses 21 to 32. This was not only true in the days of Israel, but is also very evident in the day in which we live. God not only mentions the sacrifice of their children to idols, but their hypocrisy. He notes that on the same day they came into the sanctuary to profane it. Here we see the religious flesh sacrificing children one moment, and entering God's sanctuary the next. Oh, the depth of man's depravity and the deceitfulness of our natural hearts. Of course, in this day and age, we would never sacrifice children to idols, or would we? Is it possible that we are guilty of very much the same sin as the children of Israel? While we would never think of burning our children to death, it may be possible that we are sacrificing them to idols. To what idols would we sacrifice them? How about the idol of TV, or the idol of rock music? How about the idols of success, immoral dress, worldly movies, sex, etc.? We could add today the idol of the internet. Is it possible that rather than pay the price of keeping them from these idols, we merely throw in the towel and give them their way? Or perhaps we actually encourage such activities and desires by our own habits or priorities. Television has become the number one baby sitter. When all else fails, watch TV. Whatever happened to reading, games, or a little basketball or ping pong? The inroads that Christian rock has made into Christian homes is very discouraging. Parents are under the false assumption that the label Christian sanctions its use. First of all, there is no difference between it and the world's rock music. Second, the words for the most part are either shallow, erroneous, or indiscernible. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 8. In addition, it has definite effects on the attitudes of children toward biblically based hymns, dress styles, and spiritual things in general. There is not sufficient space in such a brief paper to elaborate all the negative aspects of this idol. One thing is sure: if your child is living with rock music of any kind, your child is playing with fire, and you may have been the one that sacrificed him to it. Many parents have sacrificed their children to the immoral dress styles of this world. Clothes that are either suggestive and/or revealing. A common cry is, "Where can you buy a modest bathing suit today? If you can't find one, make one, or don't go swimming." They are out there if one really wants to find one. Romans 12 verse 2 exhorts us not to allow the world to press us into its mold. We do exactly that when we throw up our hands and allow them to dictate the clothes we wear. The world's styles revolve, for the most part, around sex. It is no wonder that illicit sex is so rampant. People dress to encourage it. 2 Samuel 11 verses 2 to 5. Have you sacrificed your child to this idol? How about the idol of success? Many fine Christian parents do more to encourage success in the world's things than they do in the things of the Lord. More money, time, and energy are spent making sure that Mary or Bob have the best education, the best house, the biggest wedding, etc. How much time and energy are spent making sure that they are equipped to live for and serve the Lord? Where is our emphasis placed? Have we sacrificed them to the God of this world? The Creator designed the family so that parents would be able to guide their children during their early years when they are easily misguided by the world around them. Proverbs 22 verse 6, Ephesians 6 verse 4. It is very easy for parents to sacrifice their children by failing to provide the proper godly guidance to them during these tender years. Why do we often sacrifice our children to the idols of this world? One reason may be we do not love them enough to pay the price of such guidance and discipline. We may be too lazy or selfish, and therefore take what appears to be the easy way out. Love is willing to pay a price. John 3 verse 16, Ephesians 5 verse 25. There is a price to be paid to truly love our children. One has said, we either pay the price now, or pay it later. That price may be misunderstanding. It may be children getting angry at us, or worse. However, if we really love them, we will pay the price for their future well-being. God does this for His children. Hebrews 12 verse 6. Perhaps we sacrifice our children to the world's idols because we are not spiritually awake to the dangers involved. Or perhaps we do not see the world for what it really is, the enemy of God. James 4 verse 4. Or perhaps we feel that setting Christian standards is legalism. The Lord said, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." Was He being legalistic? Paul desired that the love of the Philippian saints would grow in knowledge and discernment in order that they might approve and go in for better things. Philippians 1:9-10. Love is not blind. To label all discerning judgment as legalistic is foolish and or merely a way of justifying our behavior. May we review our practices and priorities to determine whether we are sacrificing our children to the gods of this world, and on the same day coming into the sanctuary of the Lord. While none of us are perfect parents, may it be our desire and objective to raise our children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Ephesians 6 verse 4.